Hello, my name is Tony Berard, and this will be the video for the epic battle between chess and dice chess. I've actually had some epic battles before. Tines and Barbs. I issued a chess versus Tines and Barbs challenge quite a few years ago. And fighting chess is another chess variant I invented. All the pieces are stronger, except for the queen. I didn't do anything to the queen. I didn't do anything to the king either. But all the other pieces are stronger. So, of course, fighting chess pieces would beat chess. But dice chess, I didn't think about a way to battle those two armies until yesterday. So today's my video for this battle between chess and dice chess. This is the box you get with dice chess. Comes from the Game Crafter website. That's the bottom of the box. You get a bag, and I went through this stuff in other videos. Here's the board, and you get these dice. This is the king cube, and you get 15 dice for white. And black's king cube is right here. It's a faceless die, and you get 15 black dice for a total of 16 pieces for each side. And this chart I showed in the previous video, this is the turn scale for dice chess. So from the initial position, you make your moves. White gets 3 points on the first turn, black gets 6 points on the first turn, and both players thereafter always get 6 points per turn. It costs 1 point to increment, 1 point to decrement, 2 points to capture, and 3 points to move. That's it for the rules. The object of the game is to capture the king cube. Capture the king cube, you win. And so, I guess I'll talk about the Game Crafter. At www.thegamecrafter.com, that's where you can get this dice chess game. And so, the next thing will be to battle the two. Well, let's talk about an endgame. So, let me get out a couple of pieces here. So I have just grab what I can grab here. A knight. I'd like a queen. There, I got the queen. I got the king. Alright. So we're going to battle a white king and queen. And in order to battle dice chess against chess, I'm taking away increment and decrement. Because the chess pieces, they can't, you can't say that it's less than or equal to in order to capture. So we have to allow all captures. So increment and decrement have no meaning in the game. And I'm not going to allow all these pieces to increment to a 6. So to hamper dice chess a little bit, we're going to keep every piece the same. Incremented, no increments and no decrements. So a 2 will stay a 2 the whole game until it is captured. Likewise, a 3 will stay a 3. The lowest piece then on the board would be a 2 in this battle. And there's 8 of those. So it's very likely that a person could have a 2 at the end. So we got a 2 and a king cube. So the queen clearly is very strong. And the king is the king. I'm going to take my coat off so that my sleeves don't drag on the pieces. Alright. So, let's have this position to start with. Let me stand so I can show the board. Alright, so we have the white king. Oh, I can't have white versus White, let's grab black pieces. Let's say we got a 2 there, and because it can't be white versus white. Although I guess it could be, because it'll be dice versus the chess pieces. So it could be white versus white. But we'll make it black versus white. Alright, so black has a king cube here, and 2 here. And white's queen is here, and white's king is here on what, c6. Alright, so here's the initial position that we'll start with. And we'll let the chess army go first. Alright, so it's white's turn. In normal things, well, it's in check. Let's at least move it to here. So white's first move will be... normally you move to a position where you can check the king and fork a other piece. And one nice square to do that would be to come down here and say check. And also threatening the 2. Since the 2 can't increment or decrement, it cannot capture the queen. So, is black in trouble? Because then black, would just have the king cube versus a queen. And even that is up for debate whether that's a victory. But anyway, it's black's turn now. So black will spend 3 points to move the king. And black could spend another 3 points to move the king if black wanted to. But black will spend the second 3 points moving the 2. So now 2 moves were made. The queen is left frustrated. Like, hey, if this was chess, I would have gotten one of those guys. If the 2 moved, I could have got the king. If the king moved, I would have got the 2. But somebody was going down. But this is dice chess. The chess queen is flustered. Both targets moved. What will she do? Alright, so then it's black's turn. Let's do that. Well, can't do that. That'll be right in the gaping maws of the 2. So let's go there. Now it's black's turn. So black will do that. And that. So now it's white's turn. So let's say white does that and says check. So then what will... Let's say 1 could do that for the second point. That would force the draw because now the queen has to capture because this 2 is threatening the queen and threatening to capture the king. So white would do that, black would do that, and now that would be a draw because the black king, even though the black king cube, even though it can go 2 squares in a single turn, it can't capture on the second square. So white, as long as white stays, at least 1 square away, so white cannot pass, but black could pass. But if black passes, that doesn't do anything. And so even though black can legally move into check, that would be foolish because the white king would capture. And so black cannot get within 1 square to threaten the capture of the king because the black king cube would be threatened itself. Yeah, it can run circles around the regular king because the king can't travel this fast, but the power levels of the 2 are the same. So the mobility is better for the king cube, but the power levels are the same. And so there's not enough power with the black king cube. So that was the 2 versus the queen. But let's see, can a queen beat a king cube. Let's put it from here. We'll start the queen there, and we'll allow, so let's say it's white's turn. So if white does this, black can do this. White didn't resign, and so it escapes. So let's say white does this. What can black do? Black can move 2. 1, 2. So let us say white does this. 1, 2. It's very fleet of foot. So yeah, the chess army is really slow because it can't move 2. 1, 2. No, it can't do that. Let's go there for the second one. Yeah, the chess king is just too slow. 1, 2, and then he's out in the center of the board again. So it doesn't look like it can win. If there was a check that was put here like this, now the black king cube can't escape. 1, 2, capture, it would lose. 1, 2 this way. So if there's any flight possibility, 1, 2, yeah, it would have to end like that, kinda. But black's not going to allow the that situation to occur. So it's probably not possible for the queen to capture the lone king cube by force. Yes, it could be blundered into, but by force, it doesn't seem possible. Alright, well, I'm going to pause the video, and we'll resume in a moment with the pieces set up. Okay, so here's the battle. I gave white for dice chess because white's first turn is only 3 points. And so black might have the best chance against that. So white only gets 3 points to start, so there it is. And of course, if black plays pawn to king 5 in response to pawn to king 4 or e to e4, that would be just a capture. So already things are very different for the black army. So let's say black does this to defend the pawn, because black certainly is not going to be able to capture. Oh, doesn't white get a second turn? So yes, white is threatening to... Alright, let's start this again. So if white does this, black cannot do this because white would capture. That's what I meant to say. So white has to do, or black has to do something else. So let's say black does that. Now if it captures, then the queen can at least recapture. So, well, let's go ahead and do that. So that and that. Now it's there's 2 turns that, because white can do 2 things per turn, two moves. You can't capture and move because capture's 2 points, but it can do 2 moves to get 6 points. So now it's black's turn. And so the queen is threatened. So let's put the queen back. And let's do that. And that. And so having four guys out here, and there's none showing for white, or black rather, Alright, so the knight moves. And then let's threaten the knight. And since all these twos are basically queens, because they can't, the queen couldn't win against one, it might be okay to let the knight go for a queen. It's hard to say, because the power mismatch is just so great. But let's crash into that. So then white would do that. Now it's black's turn. Let's put the bishop here, I guess. So we'll bring the threes out, like so. Now it's black's turn. Bring the knight out. Now it's white's turn. Let's do that. A little bit of defense for the king. Alright, now it's black's turn. Let's do that. Now it's white's turn. We'll do that. So, happy to take the 6. The knight will go into here. Then white will do that. Black will bring the bishop over and capture the 4. But this 2 can go sideways and capture the bishop. So now it's black's turn. Let's say black does this. Bring the bishop out. Now it's white's turn. White will bring the 4 and the 5 over. Now it's black's turn. Black will capture this 3. Put the pawn back up. And now it's white's turn. Black's turn. Black will castle. So black gets a castle in. Now it's white's turn. Let's say white moves these 2s up. Very chess-like move. Now it's black's turn. Black will advance the pawn. Now it's white's turn. White will do that, threatening the queen. I guess happy to get a 5 out of the deal. Black will trade, recapture with the 2. Now it's black's turn. I guess black will move the rook. Now it's white's turn. Well, white's advancing quite a lot. Let's do this and this. That's a pretty scary move there for chess. A double move with 2s. Those would have been pawns, but they just fly right in there like queens. Alright, and 2 of them came. Yeah. Of course, the threat is a 2 is going to come here. And since white only gets to move 1 piece, there's no way out. So that's going to be that. I suppose black could do one last move. He'll capture this 4 as a one last ditch attempt. And then the 2 will come here. Checkmate. So chess loses. And the dice chess army was not in any danger at all. And look at all the power that's still left for the white army. Black does have 2 rooks, you know, but these pawns are all sitting ducks, they're much weaker than these pieces. It's like having a bunch of queens against a couple of rooks. So, yeah. So as you can see, this epic battle really wasn't much of a contest. The chess army just collapses right from the get-go. Just the ability to move 2 pieces on a turn is just very powerful, and chess can't really compete with that. And we saw that a queen cannot defeat a 2. The 2 probably can't beat the queen either. So you would need probably 2 2s, and then it could be 1. But even so, the 2 is representative of the pawn. So even the most powerful chess piece can't beat the least powerful chess dice piece. So that's yeah, it's basically a no contest. Now, if a grandmaster were playing the chess pieces and you had, an average tournament player playing the dice chess pieces, how would that go? That might be a different story. The competence of the players. But against 2 evenly matched players, it's not going to be a contest at all. So, all right. Well, I've invented, a lot of other games and stuff, so I guess I'll spend a second talking about those. I haven't done a fireside chat in a while, but this was the sheet I was using for the fireside chat. In this new game, number 7, I put here dice chess. But I've invented these other board games. Fighting Checkers is available on the Game Crafter site. This is a nice game. You get to move 2 pieces. Well, you have to move 1 piece in Fighting Checkers, and you have the option of moving a 2nd piece. In Dice Chess, both are optional, because you don't have to move at all. You can spend your points as you please. You can move 1 piece to 1 spot and then move it back. No change was made, so so you don't have to take any points at all. But if you want to, you can move 2 pieces in dice chess. Hybrid is a blend between fighting chess and fighting checkers, and is played on a 10 by 10 grid. Go 12 is a very nice game I invented. That's you use a standard Go set to play Go 12, but to make it an official Go 12 set, I made it with cubes, and this game is available on the Game Crafter site. I've also invented a new deck of cards. It's called the Colors RSP deck of cards, and I've invented quite a few solitaire games and some family fun games with it. Crazy Colors and Go Fish Colors, and you can have more serious games that you can play with this deck of cards too. I haven't done much of a video on this channel about my rating system, so I might do that next now that I've got the epic battle between chess and dice chess done. But I have talked extensively about the block transition tournament. So anyway, I've created an incredible gaming environment for players. And I've got a new tournament design where the top 2 players can meet up in the final round every time. Not the top 2 players. Let me say the top 2 performing players will meet up in the final round or the final 3 rounds every tournament. Every single time it will happen. In modern tournaments nowadays, that will happen only happenstancely. Because it's not designed to be able to do that. But my new block transition tournament is a new powerful design. So, yeah, I'm hopeful that dice chess tournaments can be run using the block transition tournament, and players will be rated with my rating system. So I have a complete environment for a population of dice chess players. As I've shown, it's a very powerful game. It's more powerful than the chess pieces. So if you want to upgrade your game from chess to dice chess, you can play, it's like upgrading from a Toyota to a Ferrari, or from a Ferrari to a Bugatti. Dice chess is powerful. It's it's got some kick to it. You know, if you wanna get in the Bugatti, or if you wanna get in the Ferrari, you know, come to Dice Chess. All right. This is the end of the video, so I will sign off. Have a great day. This is Tony Berard signing off.